I have a question, Stuart.
Yes, Christine.
Revisiting or returning to the blue light topic from Monday. One of my first most powerful experiences of that blue light was when I was doing body work on you years ago. And my question is, besides the hand chakras, is there another particular chakra that a person could work on to access that, like the crown chakra? Can you talk about that, please?
Look, there's no specific chakra that you have to work on. You just do your inner work, and these experiences will come to you. You know, if you work and, you know, just develop this meditation as I teach it, as you practice it, you will grow organically into that. And, you know, I mean, look, I don't know what the blue world is. I used to hear Muktananda talk about that. I was never interested, you know, but I did experience this whole energy of the blue light. Mm-hmm. I experienced it working with people, you know, with AIDS, people with cancer, with all kinds of people I worked with in my life. That healing energy came and manifested as blue light. I talk about it in my book, Leah, I think, the transmission of blue light to help her overcome the problem. And, you know, I never worked in a particular chakra to experience this. I just continue to build myself. And all of these things come if you build yourself. But if you say, now I'm going to just work on my crown chakra because that's where you know, you're not going to go anywhere because that's all in your head. That's like reading out of a textbook. You know, somebody writes in a textbook, if you want to go to the blue world, open your crown chakra. And you spend your whole life opening the crown chakra. And if you ever get there, the energy will be too strong for you to even deal with. So organic inner growth is the key to this. It's the key to healing. It's the key to spiritual life. It's the key to everything. An inner organic growth, the development of a system inside a whole person that draws to you what you have to experience in order to continue to grow. So I don't think I would dwell on which chakra is connected to the blue world, you know? I would just build myself. That's what I've done. I never, ever focus on one particular chakra, except for the one below the navel, because I need to be grounded there for the rest of them to really open. Mm-hmm. And that's what I would suggest. And if you're supposed to experience that energy of blue light to come through you and to help heal people, great, it'll come. Mm-hmm. But you got to be ready and prepared to be a vehicle for it. If you're not prepared, understand, it can do as much damage as it can do good, those energies. Same thing with cosmic physicians come and they do operations to transform the chakra system. If you build your system, you are ready for that. They come. These cosmic doctors, you know, and they're very powerful. And they do this kind of psychic surgery on people that are ready to move to the next level in their life. So all of this is possible, but our job is to prepare for it. It's to get strong enough to be able to have these experiences without these experiences, you know, doing damage to us because we didn't have the strength to deal with them. We activated them with it when we weren't ready. Mm-hmm. So that's what I would do, frankly. And if you're supposed to use blue light to heal people, it'll come to you. Mm-hmm. It'll come because you are ready to transmit it. I mean, they're very intelligent in the cosmos, you know, much more intelligent than we are. You know, they give these gifts to people that are ready to experience them. And we do the exact opposite. We want to experience these things before we're ready to experience them. And they do damage. They're too strong. So what I would suggest is what I suggested. Develop the whole chakra system, build that inner life, and these things come. It's like in that movie, build it and they will come, I mean, it's true. You got to have a baseball field for people to play on, or they're not going to come.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question they would like to?
I have a question.
Yes.
I often have a lot of sensation in the upper chest, but there's a different sense of the heart, like kind of in the solar plexus area. Could you talk about that region, if there's different centers or something?
I mean, which region? The heart?
Yeah, there seems to be like two different feelings in the upper chest and down more in like the solar plexus closer to the navel.
Oh, I'm not clear what you want me to talk about.
Well, if there's nothing there, then there's nothing there.
Well, there's a chakra in the heart that needs to be developed. And the best way to develop is what I say all the time is just through gratitude, through, this deep appreciation and need inside yourself to connect with God, to say thank you for making this possible. That will open the heart chakra. And then there's also a strong energy, in the chakra below the navel, which connects with the solar plexus. And if you truly open and develop that chakra below the navel, it irradiates right into the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is a really powerful place. And you will build a system inside that will enable you, that energy to just, it's like you drop a pebble in the water and it just floats out and it connects with the solar plexus and enables the heart to open. So all of these areas are very valuable, but again, it's developing a system inside that is capable of dropping that pebble into the water. So that energy below the navel, just radiates out. And it connects us with the solar plexus. It acts as a foundation for the heart chakra to open. And then, when we feel that gratitude and that deep need in the heart, we have the inner strength, to sustain that openness. All of it works together, Rudy always called this meditation like playing a one-man band. You got to be able to play all the instruments consciously. So, yeah, they're all connected. The heart, third chakra, the solar plexus, it's all connected. And they're all powerful areas inside a human being. But if you don't open the heart, if you don't get centered below the navel, none of it works. And the answers are so simple. Bring your attention below the navel, feel gratitude in your heart, and then allow these higher forces to come down and work on you to help you build these systems inside yourself. The answers are very simple. Doing it, I know, is not easy. It took me years to learn how to do all this stuff. The hand is another thing. Hands are healing instruments. There are chakras all over the hands. Center of the palm, at the edge of each finger, in each joint, there are chakras. And the hands are very powerful instruments. And when you build a chakra system that's strong enough, one of the first things that happens is you begin to feel that power in your hands. The hands, instead of sitting like this, the hands will open and receive energy right out of the cosmos. I mean, the whole body is like this. There are chakras and meridians all over the body. You know, and when we open, I mean, look, I used to have an acupuncturist, very good, you know, and first time I went to him, and I knew this guy was good because the first thing he ever did to me is he put a needle right in the crown chakra. And the second needle was right here, and the third one was right in the heart center. You know, and it opened up the crown, the third eye, the heart, and energy began to expand into all the meridians in my body. And the body began to pulsate with that energy. And this, our meditation is the same thing. You open below the navel, you open the heart, you open the throat, you know, you open, quiet the mind and open, and that energy doesn't just stay there, it radiates throughout the entire body and it expands beyond the body. There's no limit to the expansion of that kind of consciousness. But again, I keep getting back to a very important point that in order to experience this stuff and to allow this stuff to really work on us and give us a spiritual life, it needs our help. We have to build a system inside that enables these energies to work on us. Otherwise, these energies are very powerful, and if we're not ready, it could really do damage if we try to tap that, you know, when we're not ready for it. But when you start getting ready by building the kind of inner life I'm talking about, you know, cosmic physicians come, you know, they all come, the blue light, everything comes, you know, healing comes, mudra comes, you know, psychic ability comes, the ability to look at a human being and you can see their past lives, you can see their future lives if they continue going the way they're going. All of this comes, the gifts of the universe. It comes to us, but we need to be prepared for it. Otherwise, it's just bullshit, you know? It's energy that's too strong for people to deal with. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I have a question, Stuart. It's Wendy. Well, first, what's coming up, I was going to ask you something else, but the question around the energy, if the system isn't built, does the strong energy still come? Or I thought the system has to be built for the energy to even come. You know,
you could take an LSD capsule and that energy will come. I mean it. I did it. I took LSD capsule. I spent 4 hours sitting in the heart of the Buddha. First time I ever did that. You know, it changed me. My whole energy became different because I opened to a whole different level, but I knew I couldn't get that through drugs, you know? You know, it'll come, these things come. Even I have people all the time get in touch with me and tell me about the Kundalini experience I had 20 years ago. You know, and how can I relive that? Yet, meanwhile, 20 years went by, they have no training. They have no development. They had an experience that could have burned them up. You know, thank God they didn't continue having it because without training. So what we try to do here is to gradually build that kind of system that enables those forces in the universe to come and work on us. And this is important to understand. Everybody wants it now, you know? We live in a world where the internet is so fast that it's not fast enough yet. Everybody talks about the faster internet. You know, you get things in a second and a half and it's too slow today, you know? And that's the kind of world we live in, a world of instant, you know, food, instant everything. We need to mature into it gradually and grow day by day closer and build that kind of system, you know, that allows that these gods and demigods and devas and divas and all this stuff to come and really work on us. I mean, I sat with Rudy watching those energies work on him. He used to ask me, what do you see? And I would tell him. And it was amazing, you know? And I knew I was not Rudy. And if I'm going to have that kind of experience, I better grow in myself. I better really develop a system that can do that.
Thank you, Stuart. That was helpful. My original question was actually, I was going to ask you if you could speak on confronting death and illness, because I'm reading Leah now and I'm just a little bit in, and it's an amazing book so far. But just that overall looming like death and illness, could you speak to confronting that from the perspective of what we do here, you know, and what we're intending?
Listen, if you do what I've been talking about for the last 15 minutes, you know, you will develop a system that will transcend both life and death. You will develop a system that will connect you to energy that's outside the realms of time. And that energy will enable you to recognize that birth and death are just organic processes that make it possible for people and the soul to evolve and get closer to spiritual enlightenment. If you build that kind of system, there is no longer this thing of death. It's just life. It literally is connecting with eternal life, you know, which is the soul force that connects with what's infinite in the universe. The fear of death, which is probably the greatest fear that people have in this world, because it's a fear of the unknown, of, you know, from whose born no traveler returns, you know, Shakespeare said, to be or not to be, you know? I mean, it's true. People are scared shitless. And because of that, any little thing that is unknown threatens them. Any little thing that they can't conceptualize and put into that little box they live in threatens them. So once you build the kind of system I'm talking about, and you're able to create a marriage between life and death, you're no longer intimidated by all these constant births and deaths that we go through in any given lifetime. So we can use every moment as an opportunity to get closer to God. There are cycles that end. It's death and rebirth. And we as human beings have to overcome that inner fear of the unknown. You know, and the greatest of all the fears is the ultimate unknown, which is dying, you know. And the whole thing is kind of stupid. We cling to everything in life. And one day we got to let it go, all of it, everything goes. You know, even our good name is muddied by people after we're dead. You know, everything goes. So the whole purpose is to learn how to surrender in such depth that we literally attain a state of nothingness in ourselves. And that state of nothingness, which scares the hell out of people too, I'm going to be nothing, you know, is just allowing the entire universe to flow through. And that will eliminate the fear of death. It'll unify life and death. It'll enable us to truly embrace the unknown and allow the unknown to truly nurture us and to give us, I mean, it's like, and I've said it 100 times, but it's such so great what Bach said, you know, he's dying, right? And everybody is crying and lamenting. And I'm just going to where the music is. Why are you all so upset? You know, death is going to where all of creative energy comes from. It's where we came from, we're going back. And if we need to get back to the earth to continue this karma, you understand, we take a vacation and the universe prepares us to come back here in a different body, a different form, but you know. So I think this is an important element in our work, because without this strength to overcome the fear of the unknown, person spends their life being crippled, emotionally, mentally, in every way. And once you build the kind of system I'm talking about, most of your emotional problems are going to disappear. Your mental problems are going to disappear, because almost all of it is based upon the fear of the unknown that we transcribe into the fear of relationships, the fear of money, success, or this, that, the other, all these fears that we have. But ultimately, it comes down to a simple thing. We are really afraid of the unknown. And that is kind of ridiculous, because all of creative energy comes from the unknown. What people know is about 5% of what exists in the universe. And this is also a gift that is given to us if we do deep inner work. It's the same thing as mudra, as blue light. It's just a gift that comes. It's like Macbeth, out, brief candle. Life is just a passing shadow, a poor play of it, struts and frets his hour on the stage, and then is heard no more. A tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever written. I mean, because it's really true. And we are on that stage playing out that tale. And we remain a bunch of idiots until finally our system can embrace the unknown, embrace life, embrace death, transcend all of that fear. And our work is about that. You understand? Reaching that kind of depth inside oneself. And it's there in every one of you, and it's there in every human being. But one has to do the work to get there. Otherwise, forget it. All of that energy just flows past us like water going past a rock. It doesn't come inside. It doesn't nurture us inside, because we haven't built the system to embrace it, to allow it. We haven't become, getting closer and closer to a state of nothingness inside, which allows all of that to come in. I hope that's clear. I don't know. This is pretty profound stuff. I'm even shocked. When I hear the stuff that's coming out of my mouth lately, I'm like, oh my God. It's kind of unbelievable. But it's wonderful, and I'm grateful. I'd rather have this come than, kind of nonsense that people talk about. Does anyone else have a question they would like?
So, Stuart?
Yes.
So basically what you're saying is that by building the system, we dissolve the ego and the fear, and we create a space in our vessel or body to receive all this Shakti and energy, to allow it to permeate our being.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes. Yes. It's really very simple. You said it in 3 sentences, It's not some complicated book written exploring and rationalizing, examining the cosmos. So it's very simple. One has to build an inner life that allows them to truly surrender the ego, the tension, the fear, the insecurity, to be nothing. Because ultimately we have to do it anyway. That's what's so silly about all this. We have no choice. One day we got to be nothing. And yet everything we cling to creates so much problems and neurosis and anxiety. And it doesn't let the universe flow through us and guide our lives. And there's got to be space in us to receive all that. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? I mean, you know, look, just to get down to some, it's why I have so many classes. You understand the training it takes to learn the things I'm talking about. I mean, I had 3 clear classes today, you know, with, you know, Jennifer and Pat and Isabel. They were here, healing classes, hands-on classes here. I mean, it's amazing. Because I understand through what I've been through in my own life, the unbelievable amount of training it takes to get this, to learn this. Does anyone else have a question they would like? And nothing about this is fanatical. You know, these classes last an hour, hour and a quarter. You know, I mean, it's not like this, you got to sit there and meditate 24 hours a day. It's getting the training, learning how to do it. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And next, just to finish up, next, on the 6th, I'm going to go to Mexico. And I'm really going to look for a place that's possible to live there. You know, because I want a place that's big enough and nice enough that, you know, people can come and we can have a, you know, not an ashram, but a place to do meditation, and a place that's also kind of affordable, because nothing in this country is affordable anymore. You know, it's ridiculous what goes on here. So I'm going to go and look and see if I can find something, and I hope I do, you know. And I'll, you know, we'll still do these, you know, classes, but I'll tell you something, these in-person classes are unbelievable. They're really powerful. You know, really strong classes. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. Thank you. God bless you all. And wow, what you all are extracting from me is beyond my even capacity. I tell you, it's amazing. So God bless you all and thank you. And there'll be a class, tomorrow is Thursday, tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone. And take it all in, absorb it, grow with it, let it really work on you deep inside. And bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart. Good night.
Good night.